Here with reaction, former acting Defense Secretary Chris Miller. Great to see you, Mr. Secretary. Your reaction to the strikes. I haven't seen much video. I've been looking at it on the Al Jazeera sites. What do you know about the 85 on Saturday, and now we're up to over 100? And this is roughly what we're seeing here. This is roughly the locations of the militias that have been harassing our forces. Gaza is where you got Hamas, Kataib, Hezbollah, for the most part, in Iraq and some in Syria. And then, of course, you have the Houthi rebels just lobbing whatever they can to shut down the Red Sea. So this is what we're up against, essentially. What have we done to diminish them?
Hey, Brian, thanks for having me. I got to kick this thing off. I feel like I'm back in the Army getting up at dark 30 to go to physical training, but instead I'm doing intellectual training here in Fox and Friends, and glad to be here. And I got to tell you, I watched Grammys last night, too, like you folks did. I don't know how you keep so bright and cheery and mentally engaged, but back to the Houthis. Holy cow. I mean, what's going on with this? Seems like they're giving us the middle finger. We keep telegraphing our punches. And, you know, we're not really getting the impact we want, because if you saw yesterday, you saw it on your lead-in, they're still lobbing missiles at us and shooting drones and sending missiles our way. And what are we doing? We're trying to shoot them down. They're sending. Right. Hey, Brian, you know, these missiles and these drones, they're like $200,000 a piece. We're shooting $1 million missiles to defend ourselves. Something's not right out there, Brian.
All right, so let me see. These are some of the targets that we carried out here. The U.S. carries out airstrikes, more than 85 targets. These are roughly the regions. On the separate side, we were trying to blow up the Houthi rebels and their armaments. But some people have described what the Houthis are and what they have. It's like fighting fog, because they have a lot of them are light arms, a lot of them are cheap drones, but they do a lot of damage. So it's going to take years in order to diminish them, which makes you wonder, how long are we going to wait before we go to the command and control? That all these militias are all coming financed and programmed from these guys, and we took any attack on them off the table. Is that smart?
Brian, don't need to be a strategic expert. You just hit it. This all goes back to Tehran. It all goes back to the Ayatollah, and he's not getting the message. And let's be clear. The thing that the Ayatollah and the regime fears most is internal instability. There are a lot of people in Iran that just want to be free. I think instead of launching air attacks and all, we should also be putting some cyber and some information operations into Tehran. That'll get the message of the Ayatollah. And I think a lot of these attacks that the Houthis and the Iranian-supported terrorists in Iraq are conducting against us will almost disappear overnight.
UK is helping us out. They say other Jordanian pilots were, they had some fighter jets, F-16s, helping us out. Is that important?
I think it's always better to go to war when you have allies. It's great to see the Jordanians stepping up, great allies out there. Of course, the Brits, we go way back. This is important. But I got to tell you, we didn't do any attacks last night. The administration's talked a good show, but we got to follow up, because we're not getting the attention. We're not getting them to back off, the Iranians, the way we need to. So we got to keep at this, Brian.
And just so you know, Joe Biden, evidently, this has come out, privately ripping Netanyahu, calling him a bad effing guy. If our two allies and our two leaders hate each other this much, that's not going to help.
I don't know how you kind of square that circle, Brian. You brought it up. We've got some inconsistencies out there. This is an opportunity to reset the region, and we're kind of doing it piecemeal.
Got it. Secretary Miller, thanks so much. We'll see how this unfolds.
I'm Steve Doocy.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.